Good afternoon. My name is Reginald Bell, and I'm here to express my support for school vouchers for private schools. Education is the foundation of our society. If a person does not receive a good enough education, then they will be looked at as a failure in our society. According to the Epic.com, every 29 seconds, a student drops out of high school. Also, according to the Epic.com, if a person does not receive a high school diploma, then they are more likely to commit a crime than a person with higher education. So what does that mean? That means people that drop out of high school are more likely to commit a crime. Adding to the 1 million people that we have already that do not have a high school diploma, that also puts us at risk. It puts us at risk as in being a victim. Many people do not agree with giving school vouchers for private schools because many think that it violates the First Amendment. I disagree. I believe that the government should fund school vouchers to private schools because it's not actually giving the money directly to the private schools. It's giving money to the parents to decide whether they should send their child to a public school or to a private school. Many people think that just because private school and 90% of private school are religious based, that the government will be funding funding religious and private schools. I think that the parents have the option of the other 10% of schools that they can send their child to. Also, private schools have a better teacher-to-student ratio, meaning that which is 1 to 15. Public schools teacher-to-student ratio is 1 to 30. So private schools have more one-on-one time to spend with their child than public school. Public schools, if a child gets too far behind, more than likely the teacher will not slow the pace down for the child to catch up. Many private school also has better results in education than public school. I think that the government should give more money to the poor people so it can increase competition between public schools and private schools. Many rich people send their child to private schools because they get better results. There are better test scores and they have a less likely to drop out of high school. For example, if a parent is paying for their child to go to a private school, they will be more hard on their child to graduate than it would be if a child is going to school for free. Competition is good. I believe that the competition between public and private school will create a better test score all around. Many people think that you're taking the money out of the public school, but I disagree. I think that the money should be distributed evenly, so rich people and poor people have the same opportunities. An example of competition would be how efficient would GM be if they were the only auto manufacturer, and how good would Dell be if Dell was the only computer manufacturer? We need competition. For another example is Clayton County lost their accreditation. When Clayton County lost their accreditation, people in the public had no choice but to continue to go to the school, which the government has failed the students. Once the government has failed the students, they are least likely to get into a decent school because of their accreditation. Also, people that people that go to people that parents that pay for private schools are also paying taxes for not only private schools, but they're paying taxes for public schools too. I believe that you cannot put a price on education. In conclusion, education is the foundation of our society. If students are not getting a good enough education at public schools because they tend to because teachers tend to not teach the standards, at the end of the day, the is the students are at risk because we need to look at the long-term effect. The long-term effect is if a student does not get a high school diploma, then they will more than likely to commit a crime. Bye.